I picked out the 10 most frequently asked questions from the comment section of all my videos and tried to answer them to the best of my understanding in this video. And the questions that I picked are mostly those which I thought were more important to answer or that are relevant for most of the people engaging on this channel. Hello guys, and welcome to the Biotech channel. As many of you know, I have been out of video making on YouTube for over a year now. And just this month, I decided to come back. I started reading and answering the comments that people had left that entire time on all my videos, which were mostly questions about various topics. While I was doing all that, I realized that some questions were asked multiple times, which shows that those questions are more relevant for many of the viewers. So I thought to myself that maybe it's a good idea to address all these sorts of questions in a video where I can talk and answer them in a nice and detailed manner. And besides, it's time saving for me to answer one question just once and not 10 times to 10 different people. Some of you might not see your questions that you asked in this video. That might be because those questions are probably already answered in one of my videos if you just watch the video with the topic of your question. Almost all my videos have those time slots on specific points within the main topic, so you don't have to watch the whole video, but just the part that might answer your question. So let's get into the questions. What are the language requirements for getting such a job? And by such a job, this person means a job at a biotech company. And there are many other people who wanted to know whether or not you need to be fluent in German in order to get a job in Germany. So the answer is yes. You need to be able to work in German because the working and the communication language in Germany is German. According to most companies, you must have a German language proficiency of level B1 or mostly B2 in CEFR, which stands for Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. So practically, you shouldn't have problems with communication in German, which you will have to prove during your interview. That means that even if you have a language proficiency certificate, which proves that you have a certain level of proficiency, you need to be convincing to the people that are interviewing you for your job. But there might be some big international companies in Germany that don't necessarily require German language. But as far as I know, that's mostly not the case. Most companies do ask for a language proficiency. Is organic chemistry more important here or all topics? I'm going to give a more general answer here. You need to pass all the modules. You can't leave out a single one in order to get your degree. So that means all the subjects are equally important. You have to pass them. But organic chemistry is one of the most important ones, at least at bachelor's level, because it basically builds your basis for understanding the world of biotechnology. And a lot of other modules greatly depend on organic chemistry, like biochemistry, enzyme technology, and some others. There's a bit of organic chemistry in almost every subject in biotechnology, and I'm talking about the bachelor's level still. So it's very important in terms of your basic understanding of molecular behavior and functionality of molecules and systems in living organisms, which you need to understand in order to go forward in biotechnology. The next question is whether the subjects are taught in German or in English. At bachelor's level, almost all the subjects are taught in German because the courses are offered in German mostly. Masters, depending on whether your course is offered in German or in English, masters, you have the option of English, but for bachelors, it's mostly German. So basically, this person was asking about the most promising courses in terms of job market. My last video was on job markets within biotechnology. You can watch it if you want to. It'll pop up right above. I'll just link it up here. So look into it, and I hope that you get the answers to your question. The next question is, what do you think about bioinformatics? So the value of bioinformatics is increasing as the automation increases inside the labs in all the biotech industry. Besides, there are many new software systems and IT teams, as many big companies have their own servers and IT management systems. And don't forget about the simulations and 3D models of proteins and other molecular bodies in the research sector and God knows what else in that direction, so it has good opportunities, yes. And the importance of bioinformatics will increase in time as in all the other industries. And they can have a better work life because it's not dangerous. Bioinformaticians don't work inside a lab, and working inside a lab can be dangerous. Those of you who have worked in a lab already know this. And working inside a lab is reliant on teams that are bigger
And working in a relatively big team is like a chain reaction. Everyone has to do their job perfectly. And if one person doesn't, it just piles up. So it can be kind of stressful because you have to do your job perfectly. Otherwise, the tasks of your colleagues might get affected because their work is dependent on the work that you do, or the results that you get from your work might be the starting point of work for your colleagues. So it has to be right, it has to be on time. Otherwise, it'll get stressful within the team.
But for me, it's better to work inside a lab because I like it and everybody has to decide, I guess. But if you look at the nature of the work, yes, bioinformaticians have a safer job and a better work life. The next question is, what type of questions are asked during an interview? This one I'm going to answer from my own experience. All the interviews that I had were over 45 minutes long and sometimes even over an hour long. So there's a lot to talk about, but mostly the questions were simple and basic, like what have you done so far? What are your job experiences? And what sorts of responsibilities did you have? And an overview basically on your tasks and duties. And also questions like your personal preferences in the lab and how do you cope up with stress and working with others and independently, which one do you prefer? But they always started by asking me to tell them about myself. It's a small intro of some sort each time. So basically, they mostly ask you questions from your resume. If they have your transcript, they ask questions about each and individual subjects and they want to know about your weaknesses and strengths. But for more details, I would have to think back and maybe just make a separate video on it. I don't know. Let's see. The next question was, wait a moment. Why do biotechnologists earn less than mechanical engineers in Germany? It's true, yes, but the automobile industry and the engineering companies or technology-based engineering companies are more evolved and much bigger than the biotech industry here in Germany. But in the US, the biotech industry is much bigger. That's why the biotechnologists in the US make much more as compared to here in Germany. And how big of a difference we're talking about? You can watch my last video and make an estimate for yourself, where I already mentioned a range of salaries that biotechnologists earn in the US and here in Germany. So you can compare them for yourself. And as for the job market, because biotechnologists can have different spectrum of jobs in related fields, which I already have talked about in my previous video, they have more variety and number of jobs that they can apply for. So in my opinion, biotechnologists have better opportunities as compared to people from related fields. But I'm not a career counselor, so I don't know much about other fields and can't answer comparison questions of biotechnologists with those related fields. So that you need to ask an expert or just research for yourself on your field of interest. The next question goes, well, it's about scholarships. I do get asked a lot about scholarships, and honestly, I don't have much idea about scholarships programs here in Germany. For that, I will have to collect some information and do some intensive research. So sorry, I can't answer scholarship questions as of now. The next question was, what's the scope of agrobiotechnology? Well, in my recent video, I talked about agrobiotech industry, which will pop up here on the screen. I'll just link it and you can watch it if you like to. And I also shared some websites in the description of that video, which you can go ahead and check out for yourself if you want to. But as far as the scope of agrobiotech goes, I just talked about it in my last video. Go check it out. And they have time slots, so you don't have to watch the whole video, but you can if you want to. The next question was, it was not a question actually, it was a nice comment, but I thought it was helpful and nice to share it with you guys. So basically this person says that they're focusing on bioinformatics and industrial biotech, and they have way more chemistry and IT compared to other courses like medical or biological fields. That's true. But in all biotech degree structures, whether it's pharma, industrial, or any other branch of biotechnology, there's more chemistry than anything else. So keep that in mind if you want to start your career in biotechnology.
This one's not a question, but I think it's worth mentioning, especially if you're not from an EU country. Here's a situation that could happen to anybody if you're trying to go abroad for studies.
This person says that he has been rejected even though he has been studying German since high school in 2017, which was in 2017, and whether or not he can get into a university here and would he be required to do an intensive year. So here you can see that international students do get rejected sometimes, even if they fulfill all the requirements, as in this case. I myself actually was rejected when I was trying to go abroad in 2015 because I wanted to study biotechnology in the US. The reason why that happens, nobody could tell you really. You do get a reason why your application was rejected, but it's never clear. They never specify it. So keep in mind that sometimes you do get rejections, even though you have invested everything you had at that time into it. Shit like that happens and it hurts, I know, but you can't do anything about it. So you just have to get over it at some point and try your plan B, which might be better than you think it would be. I hope you get some answers that were helpful, and let's see how this video goes. If it goes well, who knows, maybe we'll just make other Q&A videos like this. So that's been it. Thank you for watching, and let me know in the comment section whether or not you'd like to see more of these Q&A videos. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.